Is having a boyfriend embarrassing or is your choice embarrassing you? Parce que gon série de choix. Sometimes the choice you're making is not a good choice. During Black Women's, we got Black Women's Month.
VBS, I just turned the water on. Big old flex, that you never saw before. These niggas chasing me like waterfalls. Keeping on my truck, look like bricks.
What's up, guys? It's your sister, Jessie Woo. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, please make sure that you subscribe, so you can join the Black Women's tribe. During Black Women's, having a boyfriend is definitely embarrassing. Black Women's Month. During Black Women's, having a boyfriend is definitely embarrassing. Black Women's Month. Okay, so I know I'm late. I'm very late to this article. All right, let's jump right on in, not out, but in, to today's topic. And we're going to be talking about the Vogue article, Is Having a Boyfriend Embarrassing Now? And it was written by a Black women's during Black Women's. We got Black Women's Month. Shantae Joseph, I believe she lives in Beans and Toast country. Okay, shout out to her. But she wrote this article. It came out at the end of October. I'm a couple weeks late. But this article has gone viral over and over and over again. And if you haven't read it, I'm going to go ahead and include the link in my description box. But for those of us who are not too familiar with Shantae, I do want to go ahead and include a TikTok that she posted in response to her breaking the internet.
I'm in my workspace looking a hot mess, so sorry, but I'm just here because I wrote this article for Vogue, Is Having a Boyfriend Embarrassing Now? Did not expect for it to blow up like this. Did not expect for it to blow up like this. The feedback has been really interesting, right? Loads of people agreeing, disagreeing, you know, people feeling very strongly about this. They feel angry, they feel heard. I'm loving it all. I think it's all great. One comment that I keep seeing repeatedly is this like, oh, you're jealous, you're bitter, you're single, using the term single as if it's a slur, which is crazy. And I just want to promise you, like, mum's life, I do not want your man. I do not want what you have at all. And even if I was the biggest hater, as in like Kendrick Lamar levels of hate, that doesn't disprove anything that I've said. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes even your hater can make a really good point. Plus, I think it's also important to remember that like the people I spoke to were people in relationships. So I'm just giving you what they said, right? I just think claiming that single women are jealous and want what you have is delusional. Like, it's giving psych ward escapee, like for real. Wrap that up yesterday. Also, I just hate the prison that heterosexuality has us all in. And even using single as a slur, like this stuff is done on purpose, right? Because when you're seeing people who are happy and successful and single, who can really critique these norms, it really shakes you to your core because it fundamentally threatens your belief system. And this belief system is so deeply entrenched in cultural ideology and structural privilege, all of the things that help to maintain a status quo. Basically, you are under spells. You are under spells, people. But also, RIP to our good sis, Adrienne Rich. She basically said that we should look at heterosexuality as a political institution, like one that requires specific things to be upheld, an institution that disempowers women, and we should actually actively try to change it, as opposed to feeling like we're resigned to it the rest of our lives, even if it makes us miserable. And I think you don't proper defend heterosexuality like it's paying your bills because it's held up as like a cultural standard for a legitimate and successful life. Do you know what I mean? I promise you, like, this can be a fruitful and optimistic conversation about the ways our personal lives are also political and how the division between men and women manifests in our relationships. Whether that's how we exist in a relationship, how our relationships are perceived, how we feel about other people perceiving our relationships. There's so much in there. And I promise you, when you chalk all this down to everyone's jealous of you, you look crazy. You look insane. So just know this, okay?
So anyway, again, Is having a boyfriend embarrassing now? It is a Vogue article that Shantae Joseph wrote. And I'm not going to go ahead and read the article. I feel like by this point, I'm so late. I'm pretty sure most of you have read it already. But I do want to kind of start off with my thoughts, just that I have like on why I think having a boyfriend is embarrassing, because it is. Having a boyfriend is very embarrassing. It's not something that just became embarrassing. it's always been embarrassing. And if you're Haitian like me, if you're, from the Caribbean, if you're African, you got African parents, or if you have those good old Southern down home Black parents who don't play no games, like you can relate, right? So I want to kind of start off from my childhood, what I thought about having a boyfriend when I was a child. You know that our parents did not even like the word boyfriend. Boyfriend. What is a boyfriend? So calling a boyfriend. 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 What does that mean, boyfriend? As a Haitian girl growing up in a Haitian household, boyfriend was not a word that was spoken. Like that, what? What is that, honey? Boyfriend, ménage. No. That was not a word that you just threw around. That was a very prohibited word, okay? When this article was going viral, it had me thinking about two perspectives that really hit home for me. Is the perspective of me being a young Haitian girl and not really being able to talk about having a boyfriend. That wasn't a thing that you could have. But then also the perspective that I have now as a woman who does have a boyfriend, and I'm now in my longest relationship with Mr. Easter. And this has been I'm with the love of my life. So I have so many new outlooks on what a boyfriend is, what a boyfriend should be, what a boyfriend ain't. And that's why I think it took me weeks to even talk about this subject matter, because I'm just like, do y'all really want to hear what I got to say? Like, do they really want to hear what I got to say? Because I don't know. I kind of feel like there's a lot of side eyes. I used to have side eyes when I was single, and now I get these side eyes that I do have a boyfriend. So let me kind of reel it back. So let's go back to my childhood. Having a boyfriend has always been embarrassing for me as a Haitian girl because you weren't supposed to have one. Ménage. What is a boyfriend? Boyfriend? What does that mean? What are you doing? Una fait bagay? Just was very much like having a boyfriend correlated with intercourse. Like things just went from 0 to 100 really quickly. And then you're promiscuous and you're fast. And it's like all these different things. And oh my gosh, Jessie got a boyfriend, kunya. La finance, sex, kunya. You know what I mean? Like things would just heighten so fast. And so as a young warthog, when I was a young warthog, yeah, that wasn't a thing. As a child, I was taught to say no to boys, okay? A lot of us went to school and we were taught to say no to drugs. As a Haitian girl, I was taught to say no to drugs and to say no to boys, okay? Like, there was no boys. There was no option for boys. Ou pas nan garçon. Like, that wasn't a thing. And so, because of that, I feel like my introduction to boys was very much rooted in a lot of secrecy, a lot of shame, a lot of hiding. I've already talked about being an SA victim as a child from a family member, then going on to be an SA, victim as an adult. But already my introduction to intercourse was SA by a family member, okay? So I already had that just muffled my thoughts on girls and boys and men and women and what this is and what it's supposed to be, right? And then I remember just being 11, going into middle school and seeing, okay, like boyfriends, girlfriends. People are starting to claim each other. Okay, he's bringing you his chocolate milk during lunch. And okay, y'all are walking hand in hand to class. But these were not things that I could talk about at home or could speak about to my mother. I did not feel like I could speak about those things to my mother because you're not in garçon. You don't have boyfriend. There's no such thing. You know what I mean? Like, my mom was not the type of mother, and maybe a lot of you guys can relate. As a child, I wasn't taught to date. I wasn't taught how to date. I wasn't taught, what to look for in boys and then men. I wasn't taught, dating values, like how a boy or how a man should court you. I grew up with a very religious mother who was busy dating Jesus, Jesus. She was busy in the church house every day.
Lundi, prière. Mardi, service. Mercredi, choir rehearsal. I think Thursdays we had off, but vendredi, réveil. All right? Samedi, Saturday, jeûner, nap jeûner. Sunday, which was dimanche, l'église. Dimanche soir, which is Sunday night, l'église encore. All right? Like, it was church, church, church. My mama was dating Jesus. Jésus, 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 papa, papa, moi, papa. Like, that was my life. You know what I mean? Cher Seigneur, like, that was my life. Fais-moi river dans l'oreille, non fait noir. Like, that was my life. I had a mother who was busy dating Jesus. I had a father who was an absentee father because he was dating crack. Okay? He was busy dating crack. He was too busy dating the crack to tell me how to get it cracking with the men's. Okay? So learning how to date was not something that was taught to me at home. And, I'm not really learning how to date correctly by watching my classmates, because now that I look back at it, like, they were just doing what they saw on TV or maybe doing what they saw at home. And unfortunately, a lot of us didn't have good examples at home, and so nobody taught me how to date. So when I started dating or getting familiar with the male species, nobody was around to teach me how to do that. So a lot of the things that I did was in secrecy. I was making out in the hallways in secrecy. I was getting fingered, in the back ways, in the hallways of school. Like, I was just trying to figure it out. I was doing what I saw the other kids doing. Oh, they getting fingered. Okay, so I should be getting fingered too. Okay, y'all making out. Okay, I should make out too. Like, oh, y'all having sex. I didn't have sex until I was in college, but I would hunch. Like, I would dry hunch. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, I was too scared because my mom had told me, she said, God, if you have sex, you're going to die. You're going to die. Jessie, die. You're going to have AIDS. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I wasn't going to get AIDS. And it sounds so horrible, but it's like my mother really used scare tactics to scare me out of doing a lot of things. And when I look back at it, it was very horrible, but I'm kind of thankful because she really did save me from a lot of things. Like, when I look at a lot of my friends from middle school and high school and I see what their lives turned out to be. And not saying that they have horrible lives, but a lot of them were mothers very young, and they had to struggle a lot, or they, picked men who were horrible to them and their kids. And I think about, damn, who was teaching them how to date? Who was teaching them how to pick men? And some of the points that I will make in this video will sound like I'm judging women, but when I read this article, what I like about the tone of this article is it puts a lot of the responsibility on us, basically stating that we're not making the best decisions when dating. And a lot of that has to do with, obviously, the pickings are slim. Men ain't shit. Like, just most of the time, for the most part, men ain't shit, right? So the pickings are slim, but then also a lot of us don't know how to pick. A lot of us weren't taught how to pick. And so we're making really bad decisions when it comes to picking our boyfriends, right? I think growing up, when I would think about having a boyfriend, being a girlfriend and all those things, I would think a lot of times I was waiting for a man to pick me. Like, pick me. You know, like I wasn't a pick me, but I was waiting for a man to pick me. Like, I'm gonna, you know, present myself. I'm here. I'm in the room. You know what I mean? But I wasn't going out of my way to be a pick me. I always taught that the man, you know, makes the advances. The man picks you. The man courts you. The man, and you know, just fall in line. And now that I'm in the relationship I'm in now, I have a totally different aspect. But even before then, I feel like the last couple years of my life, especially post-pandemic, I think the panoramic taught me a lot of lessons about dating too. And it's like, now I'm just like, no. Like, as women, we need to be doing more picking. Like, we need to be more assertive when it comes to the men that we choose. Yes, you want a man to court you, but just because a man is courting you doesn't mean that you need to be his girlfriend. Just because a man is interested in you doesn't mean that you should be interested in that man. As women, we should definitely be more picky. And so it just raises the question, is having a boyfriend embarrassing, or are your choices embarrassing? Is having a boyfriend embarrassing, or is your choice embarrassing you? Parce que gon série de choix. Sometimes the choice you're making is not a good choice. We have to be honest about that. And when I look back on my life, the boyfriends that I was with prior to my relationship now, they were all a liability. They were all a liability. They were literally all bad choices. They were bad choices that I was trying to force into being good. During Black Women's, we got Black Women's Month. And I have to own that. I have to own the fact that I went through a lot of wasted years. Maybe I shouldn't say wasted, but I went through some situations that, to be honest, when I look back, I had no business being in those situations, because I had no business choosing to be with this person. This person was beneath me. This person had no plans for the future. This person clearly didn't like me. This person was just using me. I was just bored when I was with this person. I just was looking for attention when I dated this person. I was just horny I was dangerously horny when I was with this man. This man had no God in him. This man could not lead me to the freezer section in Publix if I asked him to. No leadership qualities whatsoever. I had to really look back at my decision making and say, actually, my decisions were very embarrassing. I was making very embarrassing decisions in men for various reasons. You know, I think there were times in my life, even not just when it came to having a boyfriend, but just dating. I just was throwing shit at the wall. Like I'm throwing shit at the wall and just hoping something would stick. I was embarrassing myself. I was not making the best decisions in men. And so, yeah, having a boyfriend was very embarrassing to me. And I think a big part of it being embarrassing was me. I was making horrible decisions. I was making horrible choices. I was repeating certain cycles that I probably saw maybe my mom go through, or, you know, other women in my family. When I look at my family dynamics, unfortunately, the women in my family have not had the best of luck with men. Just over and over again, I saw really, really bad examples of the women in my family really doing their best with nothing. Putting lipstick on pigs. Like, just bad all around. And when I look at them, Haitian women, our culture does not teach women how to date. It is a very much stay away from men, be proper, be elegant, be respectful, right? But then all of a sudden, your parents are looking at you like, where are my gun kids? I don't have no gun kids. You're not, ou pas marié? You're not marié? You don't have a husband? You didn't teach me how to get a boyfriend.
Okay. Which one came first, the chicken or the egg? You know what I mean? Like, you're not teaching me how to get there, but you want me to give you my husband and grandkids. What are we doing? What are we doing? You know, like in our culture, women are very much taught to be chosen. You're not choosing. You're being chosen, right? And so when I look at the women in my family, that's pretty much what it was. They were chosen. And once they were chosen, they went with what chose them because that's what they were taught. And so they did the things. They were very good wives, very good mothers. They brought so many things to their marriages, right? But a lot of them just had nothing in the end to show for it because they didn't do any of the choosing. And so fast forward now in this landscape, in this dating landscape, I feel that as women, we need to do a better job of choosing, not just choosing back what chose us, but being more choosy, being more picky, being more selective. And it's so funny because I feel like I'm saying this at a time when so many men, especially like in the red pillars, the red pill sphere, the manosphere, they want to program women to not be choosy, to not have standards, especially like if you're in your 30s, you know, or, oh my God, God forbid you're in your 40s, you know what I mean? But I think now more than ever, women have more power to choose. And it's not just because of our education. It's not just because of the money that we make. It's just because we're smarter. And we saw what the generations before us had to deal with and put up with. So why make those same mistakes when now more than ever, women are smarter? More than ever. And so now more than ever, I think that as women, we have better been more power to choose. So going back to the article, is having a boyfriend embarrassing now? These were my main takeaways. My first main takeaway was the obvious shift in how relationships are now being presented online. Obviously, you know, gone are the days of you being rewarded for having a boyfriend, right? Like, which is part of the reason why a lot of women are choosing to be more subtle with how they present their relationships. You know, they're going to show you a little elbow. They're going to show you a little hand in their Insta stories, right? I've seen pictures where women have just altogether like cut out the man's head. And like, it's just crazy to me. Like some of it is funny, but then sometimes when I do see pictures like that, I'm like, girl, just don't post that man. Like, just don't post him. Like if you cannot post your boyfriend's face, don't post a man's body with his head cut off. Like, that's crazy. It's funny, but like, I just think about like, if I did that to Mr. Easter, I feel like he would just be so hurt. Like his feelings would be so hurt because it's like, girl, what? Like, girl, why is you cutting my head off like that? What in the off with his head is going on? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like if it's that embarrassing, just don't post your man. Just act single online. Like, it's okay, sister. It's not that deep. Another takeaway that I have from the article was just the ambivalence that people have towards relationships in general. We are living in a time where being single is more celebrated than ever. Like, and that's on both sides, right? But now we're seeing more women romanticize the single life, romanticize, you know, solo traveling. Before I was in my relationship, I solo traveled a lot and I loved it. And I definitely romanticized it. And we're seeing more and more of that online these days, which is a good thing because I do feel like being single is a beautiful thing. I don't think that it's talked about enough how being on your own and being happy with yourself, how beautiful that is. Enjoying your own company. Like I was saying earlier, a lot of times I would choose men because I was bored. Like I don't think I was enjoying my own company enough. So I felt like I had to be in the company of somebody else. And honestly, being single for almost 7 years before I got with Mr. Easter, as time went by, the more comfortable I got with myself. And I actually think that's why he came when he came, because I think I had reached a level of, baby, I this is great. Like, it'll be nice to have somebody. Don't get me wrong. I was always looking forward to being with someone, but also I was like, this is great. Especially like when I bought my home September 2023, and I moved into my home, a 2-story home, you know, like multiple bedrooms, multiple bathrooms. I make this room this and that room that. And I just was having a time in my own space. And I thoroughly, genuinely enjoy my own company. And I think that being single has become something that a lot of women have started to celebrate, which is a great thing. Solitude is great. Raise your hand if you're a Cancer. I love solitude. Even now in my relationship, I still love going into my own spaces in the house, going off to do my own thing. Like, I love solitude. And being in a relationship has not changed that for me. So that's another thing that was a takeaway from me from the article too, is that singledom is now very desirable. It's a desirable thing. And also too, like, because everybody's an influencer now. Everybody's an influencer. If you have social media, you are somehow an influencer, right? And so you're seeing the days in the life, like the days in the life vlogs, the girlies going out, getting their hair done, getting their nails done, going shopping by themselves. Like, it's an aesthetic. Like, being single is an aesthetic, okay? And it's crazy because being in a relationship used to be the aesthetic. Now the aesthetic is being single. But also, my last big takeaway from the article is the reason why so many women are moving subtly online when it comes to like presenting their boyfriend is because of the embarrassment and the shame that is tied to what might be uncovered when you present who your boyfriend is. I remember when I first started dating Mr. Easter, and that was like a thought for me. Not that I feared embarrassment, but I knew the moment I put my man up and I put his I knew people were going to go to his page. They were going to look him up. They were going to look at how he looks. Is he good looking? What is he doing? What's his job? Is Jessie Woo with some motherfucker? Is Jessie Woo with some man who ain't got no job? He better have a job. He better look good. Do he got money? Is she with him just because of the money? Or like, what is it? You know what I mean? And I think that this is the inner thoughts of a lot of women who want to put their man on social media. Like, what's going to be the thought? Are they going to find something out about him that I don't know? As I was about to sit down and record this video, I was thinking about Selling Sunset, right? So if you watch this last season of Selling Sunset, you have Emma, the empanada queen, the girl who be getting them empanada investments. I believe it. I believe the empanada allegations. And if you know what the empanada allegations are when it comes to Emma. I believe it. I believe it. Okay. But during the reunion of this last Selling Sunset season, she was exposed for dating a bigot. Okay, the guy, Blake, who's a 28-year-old man who's never eaten a fruit or vegetable in his life, turned out to be a homophobe, turned out to be racist, a white guy who's going around saying the N-word, was making fun of the pronouns that Chriselle was using to identify her and her partner. He's a bigot. He's a bigot. He's a MAGA bigot. And Emma is not embarrassed by him being a MAGA bigot. She's embarrassed that now the entire world knows. Okay? So in her case, yes, having a boyfriend is embarrassing. But going back to what I said, it's embarrassing parce que c'est lui-même que l'il choisit. Your choice in that man is embarrassing. Another couple I could think of is Halle Bailey and DDG. How embarrassing has that been, right? And even long before we found out about the DV, DDG just opening his mouth was embarrassing. I think he said something very weird about Harriet Tubman a couple years ago. And I remember, I think Amanda Seales was like, girl, you need to drop him. And Amanda Seales got dragged for that. But she was right. She was right. Cancers be right. Cancers don't be wrong. We just be early. She was absolutely right. And she had no idea that DDG was this whole other monster outside of him making that one stupid comment. This man was dead set on embarrassing Halle Bailey even throughout her Little Mermaid press run tour. Just ridiculous. Making songs about her and her co-star. Just ridiculous. Look at Cardi B and Offcheat. Offset was supposed to just be a verse. That's what Offset was supposed to be. When she was doing her mixtapes and all that, she was supposed to just get a verse from Offcheat. That was it. But instead, she built an entire life with this man, knowing that this man was horrible. How many times did we know him to cheat on her? This girl even went on to catch a charge, go through trial for having women that he cheated on her with beat up. And even post that, was still threatening other women for him, right? And so fast forward now, she's still married, but now has a baby with Stefan Diggs. Gave birth to another child within a year of giving birth to her last child with her husband. And you have Stefan Diggs, who is just an off-brand Offset. Offcheat Jr., right? It's embarrassing. It is embarrassing. And yes, while it is embarrassing, some of that has to do with her embarrassing choices in men. Going back a little while ago, Khloe Kardashian and Tristan Thompson. Remember, this man was a chronicle cheater. And she decided to blame Jordan Woods, who was simply a victim of one of his disgusting advancements, right? So yes, he's embarrassing, but also the choices she made were also very much embarrassing. Ariana Grande, Ethan Slater. Ethan, a whole married man, cheating on his wife with you, right? Both of y'all are embarrassing. And I think now she's moved on to Dalton Gomez, and that's a scandal too. So it's like, yes, having a boyfriend is embarrassing, right? But a lot of it has to do with the fact that we're making embarrassing choices. And I think that we need to have more conversations around that, not only for accountability purposes amongst ourselves, amongst us women, but also for the women who are coming up behind us, the young girls who are coming up behind us. Like, I would hate to have my daughter in the future and not put her up on game. I would hate to watch my daughter make the same stupid decisions that I made while figuring out my dating life. I would hate for her to embarrass herself with her choices in men. And again, pickings is slim. Pickings is slim, right? But how slim are they to where you have someone like Jhené Aiko with Big Sean together for how many years now? This man proposed to, what was her name? Within a couple days, Naya Rivera. Proposed to Naya Rivera within a couple months of being with her. Meanwhile, you have Jhené Aiko. Y'all been together how long? Y'all have a child together, and he's still trying to figure things out. Oh, it's still some things that need to be worked on, but he's working on your womb. Working on your womb while she out here asking on stage where the ring at, when you gonna marry me? You know what I mean? Like, yes, men are embarrassing. Thus, boyfriends are embarrassing. But I think a lot of it has to do with our choices, the embarrassing choices that we're making when we're dating these men. I will say this, and I'll end on this note. If you notice, I don't really be talking about like my relationship like that, because my relationship is really good. I rather like vlog things, and those of you guys who watch my vlogging channel, you know how me and Mr. Issa get down. Like, we just have fun. This is the most fun, warm, loving relationship I've ever been in. Like, this is the love of my life. And I think one of the main reasons why this relationship has been so fulfilling for me is I'm with someone who's very mindful of me. He anticipates me. And I never heard a man say that until I heard it from him. He said to me one day, because we're talking about how he be doing stuff for me that I'm about to do for myself. Like I had told him, oh, I'm going to change how the air conditioning is in my house. It wasn't I wanted the digital air conditioning. And there was one weekend where I had to leave for work and I came back and he changed it. He changed it. And he said to me, I'll never forget one of my frat brothers telling me this back in college. He said, the key to having a happy wife is anticipating your wife, anticipating her. And Mr. Easter does that every day, literally every day. Sometimes I look at him, I'm like, you don't got to do. But I remember my cousin telling me one time, she was like, Jess, let him do it. Please let him do it. Let him do it. Let him do it. Like, let him do those things for you. And yeah, it's been the most fulfilling, happy relationship that I've ever had. And I'm with someone who's very mindful of me. I'm with someone who lets me be me. We dream together. We love each other. We have fun together. We plan together. It's just like a sleepover. It's like this fun sleepover that I don't want to ever come to end. Like, it's just great. And there's nothing embarrassing about it. And that kind of shocks me too sometimes. I'm like, is it? But no, there's like, it's just a great relationship. But I will say this, going back to just the article too, the article alluded to women, a lot of the women being embarrassed by like maybe how they're going to be perceived when they are finally in a relationship. And I remember when I first got with Mr. Easter, I started putting him on my socials, definitely got some side-eye comments. If you go to my birthday vlog from last year, some of the comments were so whack, like that he himself was like, babe, don't put me on your channel anymore. I don't like the way people talk about you. Like, I don't like, is this what you have to deal with? Like, some of the comments, oh, we're going to see how long this lasts. Oh, you just got a man and you already acting like you some type of prize. You're going to lose him real quickly. Like, those were comments that I would get from other women. Like, so yeah, while a lot of women are being subtle about how they share their boyfriend, a lot of it is not just about them possibly anticipating being embarrassed by their boyfriend, but a lot of it has to do with the commentary that you get from other women. It's like, damn, like, I thought y'all would be happy for me. Damn, like, what is going on with these comments? I see it all the time. Oh my God, such and such got a man. Now she can't stop posting him. And you go to such and such page, and it's only 3 posts of him. Like, relax. Like, relax. Like, do y'all want to see women happy or no? Like, it is kind of... It's a lot. It's a lot. But yeah, I'm sorry if my thoughts seem all over the place, but anyway, those are my thoughts on the whole, is having a boyfriend embarrassing? Drop it in the comments and let me know if you agree with Ms. Jones that having a boyfriend is embarrassing, and why do you think having a boyfriend is embarrassing? Leave me a comment. Like this video, share, subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one.
VBS, I just turned the water on. Big old flex, shit you never saw before.